And it sounds unique because it's a weird sound that literally nobody has ever used before to create a chord progression with. Of all the new music producer tools that are available, this is the one that's actually helped me make more money as a music producer. And I mean that 100%. I've only been using it for about a year, but I use it all the time, a couple times a week. I've talked about this before. It's technically its own DAW. I use it in conjunction with my own DAW, but I've learned that it can do a lot more, and I've learned to use it for a lot more than simply just stem separation. So let me show you 5 ways that I've learned to use this program, which is called RipX, to make more money over the last year and become a better producer. Starting with this, which is something that I don't even know if it was available a year ago. If it was available in the program, I didn't know about it. So check this out. If you're sick of using the same old sounds in your beats and you want to create unique sounds, and when I say unique sounds, I truly mean this is an easy way. No synthesis involved. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with synthesis. I'm just saying this is a way to create brand new unique sounds that aren't synthetic sounding necessarily with a single click. Watch this. So I have this track here. It's a sample. And then there's this vocal part here. And because I've loaded it into RipX, which separates everything into various stems, as you can see here. So this is voice. I'll have to expand this. What it does is it finds individual instruments. So this would be, I think, bass. And then this is voice. So it's all color coded. So what I can do is click on just this voice because I like this single snippet of vocal audio. So I click on it and I go down to sounds and just hit plus. It adds that down here. So now what I do is I just create a brand new file, and it is just like a DAW. It's pretty self-explanatory. Let's make this 80 beats per minute. And because it's connected to my MIDI controller, all I have to do is select that, and now I can play it. I can record that. So under effects, there's slide pitch. I'm gonna slide this last note. So I just click on that last note so it's selected, and I go over here to effects and click on slide pitch. I can slide it up 5 steps just to see what happens. Now I could just slide this entire note. There's this tool here, which is draw pitch, and we can, draw the pitch. That was obviously not a serious attempt at drawing the pitch, but it's a cool effect. If I wanted there we go. If I wanted a more gradual slide, I could do that. I could work within the DAW and program drums, do whatever I want, or I can just export it. Vocal cords, no pun intended. So I just dragged that into my DAW and chopped it up a bit, added some effects. Check it out. Yeah, I'm a lo-fi producer now. And it sounds unique because it's a weird sound that literally nobody has ever used before to create a chord progression with. I'm gonna bounce this out and I'm gonna post it in my Discord so anyone can make a beat with it if you remember the Discord. Obviously this is a MIDI roll, so this is pretty conventional, but this isn't always the most easily read notation. So if I'm trying to learn, say, guitar or piano or whatever the case is, what I can do is go up here. So I have this guitar selected. I go up here in the view menu, click on chords, and it's going to give me the tablature here. But you can see that it's also automatically identifying chord structures here throughout the entire composition. And then if you're a pianist, there are the chords here. Whatever you select, that makes life easier. Now let's talk about a couple ways that this DAW has helped me make more money as a music producer. So making more money as a producer often entails adding more value. And one thing that producers can do is add more value by offering a mixing service along with some of their higher licenses. Say if you're selling an unlimited rights license for $100 or an exclusive license for $300, you can include a free mix along with that. And I'm not saying become an engineer, but I'm also saying, hey, producers, to really become, and I'm not going to get into the whole beat maker versus producer thing, becoming an engineer, tracking, learning a bit about mixing, learning vocal production, all of the things under the larger music production umbrella. Learning all of those things are going to help you become a better producer. Once you learn vocal production and mixing, you're going to know how to make beats that provide space for the vocals. You're going to be able to anticipate how a vocalist is going to rap over and deliver something to your beat such that you're able to sequence the beat more easily, because that's just going going to be a habit for you. You're going to know intuitively how this artist is going to ride this beat, and you're going to create more dynamic beats as a result, and you're going to have more value as a music producer. You're going to have more to offer. So now the problem is a lot of artists unfortunately don't understand what mixing is, and so they'll send you really terrible audio and expect you as the mix engineer to perform a miracle on it. Now, here's something that's going to help you, and this has helped me quite a bit. Artists have sent me tracks to mix, their vocal tracks, and they're recorded in their home, which is fine. You can get a great vocal recording at home, but a lot of people don't get great vocal recordings at home, especially when it comes to background noise. There's hiss, etc. So here's an artist's vocals that this is just the ad-lib track. You're not going to be able to guess the artist, but listen to the noise in this track. You can hear the noise. Oh, let me turn the metronome off. So there are a lot of options. There are all these plugins that you can use to reduce noise. There are all these noise reduction and analysis programs. They're super expensive. I've used many of them, and they take a long time to process. This, however, I didn't realize you could do this in RipX. Watch this. This window is becoming my best friend. So if I just go right down to, is it here? Oh, no, it's here in Repair. In Repair, I just go to Filter Background, and all I have to do is turn this up and listen to what happens. So this is how it is before I touch that. This noise here, when I filter that out, it's damn near gone. It's reduced it to really minor brown noise. And I could even, if I wanted to, just manually delete that. Depends how surgical you want to get with noise removal. So again, before, listen to this.
Yeah.
You can hear that hiss at the tail end of that. That's gone when I turn the noise reduction up. And obviously, the more heavily applied it is, the more it's going to color the EQ of the vocals. But this is pretty minimally destructive as far as noise cancellation goes. And it's just a single slider. It's not complicated. And it's quick. There's not a bunch of crazy processing time. So that has helped me as a producer when people want me to mix their vocals over beats that they've gotten from me. And they send me these, good audio takes that have background noise. I reduce them pretty easily, and then they're impressed because they're not able to accomplish that with some of the more traditional noise reduction plugins so easily. And this is unprocessed audio. This isn't compressed. This isn't EQ'd, anything. This is completely raw. So if I can get this audio and then bounce it out and then throw it into my DAW where I'm actually doing all of the gain staging and effects and actual mixing work, it sounds so much better. It sounds amazing. So that's helped improve my mixing workflow, and it's helped me build more confidence as a mixer because, bad audio in, bad audio out. I'm not here to argue with rappers who are like, why is there so much noise in my background? I'm like, you tell me. I'm not the one that installed your air conditioner. Anyway, here's something that comes up, and this has happened to me maybe 4 times this year. Rapper contacts me. He has a song to a beat that either he lost or doesn't have the rights to. Actually, this is funny. Someone did that and they said, I don't have the rights to this beat. I wanted an exclusive beat, so can you build a custom exclusive beat around this song? He sent me the song and it's my beat, and he was absolutely correct. This was not a beat that I would sell exclusively. Now, the problem is they don't have any stems. They don't have vocal stems. They can't send me an acapella because they lost the session. What I could do is I could just build a new beat at the same tempo and try to capture the same energy while making something completely different, send it back to them. What often happens in my experience is the rapper, because it's an entirely different beat and they're so married to the original version of that song, they're going to say, nah, I don't like that, try again, and now I have to go back to the drawing board. And that's a frustrating process because it's hard to communicate an idea, especially if you're not in the same space with that person. Here's what you do. I'm going to use a Ted Parks song just as an example. I drag it in here, completely rip everything. Once it's processed, I'm confident that I'm going to get a clean... Now this is an MP3 bounce. This is not a high quality wave, FLAC, nothing. And we're getting the full spectrum. You can see where the vocals are sitting. They're right there.
Woke up, took a piss in the mansion. Prison trips, I was tripping on acid. Chrome heart, I'm a...
Pretty damn good for an MP3 mix. This is not a high quality mix. This is not an acapella. So what I've been doing lately is when an artist contacts me and they want a custom beat, even if they don't want me to mix it, I will go into RipX, take their reference track, extract their vocals. It helps me too because now I can create a beat that sounds great with the artist's original delivery, because a lot of artists, they don't want to change their original delivery. They like their original delivery. They just want a different, if not better, beat. So now I can create a better beat because I have their vocals around which I can build a new beat, and it's going to match perfectly because that gives me way more control. I love doing that. And the value that's added is if they don't have access to the original vocals, if they don't have access to the original files, the stems, because they lost them or they got into a fight with their engineer, something that's happened to me before. As a last resort, depending on how good the vocal rip is, I can just use that vocal rip. I've done that before and mixed it, made it sound good, and the client was satisfied. So this is another way that this helps you make money. Now, RipX considers itself an AI DAW, and I've been very critical of AI. I'm still open to it. I use it. I've expressed my criticism when it comes to generative AI. Now, there are a lot of AI platforms out there that don't provide stems. I'm just saying you can do this. You can. It's an option. I created some lyrics, generated a song.
Now I set myself on fire. They see the flames and can't ignore me.
Very dramatic. Now I'm going to use this vocal stem isolation feature again.
Now I set myself on fire.
Honestly, I've used premium generative AI, and this vocal rip is as good as what you're going to get when you pay for it, in my experience and in my opinion. What I can do next is I can go to another AI platform, import that vocal rip, and switch the voices out to an actual licensed vocal model.
Don't let them take your soul and sell it back to you. Keep your spirit safe no matter.
Now I have a completely new vocal. Doesn't sound like it was generated via that one AI platform that has a very specific robotic sound to it. So the name of the DAW is RipX. You may have heard it before. If you're curious about it, there's a link below in the description. Use the free trial. You can use it for a couple weeks. As I said, this is one of the few new music production tools that I use all the time, a couple times a week, because it not only improves my workflow as a producer and makes these tedious tasks a lot easier and does it more effectively, but it also does help me make money because it expands my horizons. It opens me up to add more value to the clients that I work with. Link is below. Appreciate you tuning in. If you've used the program, drop a comment. What am I missing? Are there features that I should know about? Because I learned about some of these features too late, and I wish I had known about them a year ago.